Hello from Mexico City. As I mentioned in a video a few weeks ago, I'm considering making this city my long-term home. So today is time for some apartment hunting. Before we dive in, I hope you will hit that subscribe button because I post new travel vlogs and videos about my life in Mexico every week. So the first apartment I'm looking at is located south of Condesa, and this is actually a newly remodeled apartment, so it literally smells like freshly completed construction. I think that nobody has even lived here yet, so let me give you a tour of the place. So this is a one-bedroom apartment. You walk into a small living room area and this gorgeous kitchen. I really love the shape of this because you can kind of sit here at the bar and kind of have your little cooking area, plenty of space. The kitchen table, let's see here. Well, you've got the pantry, some storage, and this comes equipped with a medium-sized refrigerator, microwave, stovetop, and then let's go here to the bedroom. So it's a little on the small side, to be honest, but I love how there's a desk here. You've got plenty of storage space. Here's your closet. So this is perfect for one person, I would say. And then you've got this nice bathroom. Let's see if we can get some light in here. I mean, it's very clean, obviously just remodeled. Sidebar, check out this sink. It's so cute and tiny. I've never seen a sink this adorable in my life. And I love this. You have a patio out here. So here's your view. This is the only thing, if you were afraid of heights, you can see right down to the bottom. And there is some construction going on, it looks like, so that could be bothersome. So this apartment costs 12,000 pesos per month, and I'm gonna have to double check if that includes the maintenance and everything else. I think it does. So it's a pretty good price. I like the space, although it is, like I said, a little on the small side, but I actually think for just one person, for me, this would be perfect. Last thing I want to point out is that I do think this has a perfect amount of natural light coming in, so I'd be able to have my plants. I would say this is a definite consideration for me. Right in my budget, good location, and pretty much the perfect space, the perfect size space for me. The only major downside right off the bat is, of course, that construction. I did ask if they knew how long it was going to take for them to tear down that entire building. They estimated about a month. However, that's not the end of it because obviously they're tearing it down to most likely build something in its place. So that could mean ongoing construction for the entire of a one-year rental. And speaking of a one-year rental, that is going to be the case with almost all the apartments that I'm looking at. Most landlords require a 1-month lease. So even though I would probably like to start out with a 6-month type of deal to make sure Mexico City truly is going to be a good fit for me, that might not be in the cards. I am now in the second apartment that I'm looking at today. This one is located in Narvarte Oriente, which is a smaller subset of the Narvarte neighborhood, as you could possibly imagine. This is a 1-bedroom and 1-bathroom place. As you can see right now, I'm standing in the bedroom. It has a king-size bed, and I think this is really cool. This area here is like kind of like having a balcony, but it's on the inside, because above me you can see that there's like natural light here. This looks out to the streets. Got a little place to hang out, a TV in here, a dresser, although 2 dressers actually. I don't particularly think that those are necessary because this is the closet. Biggest closet ever. And I mean, up top, you even have more storage space. So I don't even think I think everything that I own could fit in half of this closet. So there's plenty of space. Mirrors on there too. Oh, I think this is so interesting. I'm sure this exists elsewhere, but I'd never seen this until coming to Mexico City, where it's like you put the hanger on each of these individual things and it rolls. I don't know whether I like it or don't like it, but it is what it is. Okay, so we're gonna walk out of the bedroom here, and here's the kitchen. I do like the shapes of these kitchens. It's kind of like you have a nice space to work with. Very statement red cabinetry. Has a full-size refrigerator, which I don't know why that's so rare. You have your living room, dining room area, which is all kind of together, and again, you have a similar thing with natural light coming in. I really like that. And then a nice big window that looks out to the street. So here's another view. It does look like there's plenty of storage space in the kitchen, which is really nice. And then the apartment's kind of laid out funky in my opinion, but here from the kitchen you have the bathroom, which has your shower. And another window here for some natural light. And I think it's just kind of funky because it's off of the kitchen and then the bedroom is over here. So it's not the most typical layout. I would actually expect there to be a bathroom off of this bedroom. But I like the space, and in the building she said there's only one other apartment for rent and then she lives downstairs. So the rent for this is going to be 16,000 pesos, which is a little bit higher than the last one, although I do think you're getting more bang for your buck here. And it includes everything: internet, water, gas, Netflix, electricity, like everything. And I asked her, is there anything not included? And she said no. And you know, the great thing is with this one, I don't think there's anything that I don't like in here or any like red flags, except for maybe the red kitchen. Not my favorite. I would probably pick a different accent color, but other than that, it seems like a really nice space for a very reasonable price. And it's also on such a quiet street. Like, it doesn't seem like any traffic comes down the street except for who lives here. There's no other reason to drive through. It's not a main connecting street. So I really like that. I am now in my third apartment of the day. This one is in Narvarte Poniente, which is the neighbor to the west of Narvarte Oriente where I just was. I think it's maybe like a 10-minute or less drive. This one is, I think, the oldest building, or like the oldest of all of them, and it's very unique. I'll show you why. So you come in the front door here and you have the kitchen, which is partitioned off from the rest of the apartment. It's got decent counter space, microwave, stovetop, toaster oven, a full-size refrigerator, which is nice, and seems to have lots of storage space. And you've got a window out here. And then you come around the corner, we've got the dining area with, look at this chandelier, I love it. Lots of natural light coming in. And here's a unique feature, and one reason why I think this is one of the older places. This seems to be the original wooden floors. They're a bit noisy, as you can hear, but I kind of like that. It gives it charm. So you've got I'm not sure if this is a working fireplace, but here's the living space. Another gorgeous chandelier. I really like how this is furnished, actually. Actually, given that this is painted, I'm gonna say that this is a decorative fireplace now. Anyway, so this is also a one-bedroom. It's a very spacious bedroom, actually, with what looks like a queen-size bed and so much closet space. And you have even more space for storage here. And this window looks out to kind of a common middle area, which is, or well, I shouldn't say a common, just a cutout of the building, which seems to be common in Mexico City, so you have light on other sides of the house. You've got the bathroom here. Nothing too awfully special, but you know, you got your shower, sink, toilet, storage space, nice. And here is like the entertainment room, the living room sort of. You've got your workspace here, an entertainment stand with, again, lots of space. And it's gonna get pretty loud out here, but it does have a balcony. But this is a very busy road, so it's pretty noisy. Although I don't really hear all this noisiness inside. So I would have lots of space out here to put plants, maybe a chair so I can hang out. Although it's not the most peaceful and quiet place. And so this one bedroom, or I don't know if you could even, maybe it's two bedrooms, there's one bed, but then you've got this extra living space. This is going to be 4,500 pesos a month, and that includes internet and, shoot, I forget. I just wanted to double check. It includes internet and water, so then everything else, electricity and other things, gas would be apart from that. But I do like the space. It is, though, quite a busy area next to the street, so I'm not sure. I'd have to give this one some thought. I do love with these older buildings, though, like, they do have so much more character, and even though, I mean, not everything's gonna work perfectly and you got some squeaky floors and whatnot, I like it. I really like that. Sometimes the newly remodeled is nice, but at the same time, you don't have like the history that these apartments do. So although I do really like the apartment, I do think the noisiness of this major street, what is the street called again? Xola? Xola. So this is has a lot of buses going down it, lots of traffic. So I think that might be a deal breaker. And with this landlord, you said he wanted a 45% insurance policy basically and a cosigner essentially. So that also makes it a little bit more tricky to rent this one. So of the 3 neighborhoods that I visited so far, I'd say the first 2 are pretty calm and much more residential. This one's probably the most like chaotic of the 3. However, that does mean you have more restaurants to go to, shops, things to see and do. So there's kind of those trade-offs to consider. And by the way, who was I just talking to? This is Melanie, a real estate agent who has a real estate company who's helping me look at all these apartments. You've done all the work of reaching out to these landlords and sending me photos, and basically from the specifications that I told her, the things that I'm looking for and my budget, you found all these great options.
Yeah, and since you don't have like the knowledge in Spanish, and also of all the things that are needed for this process, then I'm lending a hand in that.
So thank you so much, because this has definitely been so much breezier, and especially I appreciate she's been driving me around today. Yeah, so it's been amazing. I'll go ahead and put her contact information down in the description if you need some type of services like this as well. Well, we have a break in showings because one of the apartments canceled, or like in contract, or it's pending, or something happened. So I figured I'd give you a tour of my Airbnb to show you a little comparison of what the price costs on platform versus the prices that I'm getting of these other ones. Here is my Airbnb in the neighborhood of Colonia del Valle Norte. If I were to pay for a month here, it would be approximately $800 before Airbnb's fees. So we've got a little desk here, a nice seating area. I would consider this a kitchenette, but it does look pretty functional, like there's decent counter space. Tiny little fridge, sink out here, just part of the kitchen. Got tons of natural light. To me, this looks almost like it could be a little indoor terrace patio kind of area. Here's another view of the living room, which also has a TV, tons of places to sit. And it's a 2-bedroom place, so we'll go into 1 bedroom here. Got a little closet here. This is a little sketchy to me. If you have the window open at night for air circulation, anybody can kind of just like reach their hand in here, but it is what it is. And then coming over here, I'll go into the 2nd bedroom. It's kind of like a little den because you go down a couple of stairs. So you have a nice big bed. And then here, this looks out to kind of a common courtyard hallway to these other apartments. Interesting little short closet here. I've never seen anything like that. And last but not least is the bathroom. Looks like a pretty nice one actually, except for this tiny sink where you could never fit any of your stuff. But here they have storage space for you. Also, this goes out to the street. Shower here, pretty normal, very clean. Also, one last thing, you want your storage, it's up here. I don't know why I think that's funny. But yeah, I think I'm gonna enjoy my stay here. Guess who's back? Back again. Erica's back. Tell a friend. So Erica traveled here from Veracruz, and we were gonna show you this last apartment, but apparently they had issue with recording in there or taking pictures or anything, so I'm just gonna tell you about it. It's in the neighborhood called Cuauhtemoc. Cost 17,000 pesos for it to be furnished, or 15,000 pesos if it was unfurnished. Didn't super love it because it has like a dorm-sized fridge. The furniture situation was pretty awkward. And for 17,000 pesos, like, I get it, this area is a little bit nicer and pricier, but like,
it's definitely not. It does not have that wow factor. You walk in and it's just everything's there.
Yeah, it's a super like
does not flow.
Clunkily furnished. I think I'll have a lot to think about with all these different options that I looked at today. Thank you so much for joining me on my apartment hunting expeditions. On the screen here is a video I made explaining why I'm actually interested in staying in Mexico City in the first place, so click on that if you want to keep watching. Please subscribe to my channel, and one more thing. You want to do it? You want to do it?
Wait, with my water bottle.
Gong that bell so you get notified the next time I release a new video, and I will see you next week.